Good evening. This is Ryan Thompson, and if you're on this call, you're in the right place at the right time, and I am honored to be hosting this call this evening. I've been involved for more than 2 decades in the network marketing industry, and during this time, I've been involved with and co-founded great companies with tremendous products and services. I want you to know that I've never been involved with something as big as this. I've never been involved with something as historic as what we are going to be launching into the marketplace. So let me tee up this call tonight by simply saying that we are poised to take on a $7 trillion global industry that is old and outdated, and we'll be doing this with an army of independent entrepreneurs and small business owners. Now, while we will be talking about something that no one is doing yet in the marketplace and the enormity of this business opportunity, this call tonight is really about you and how you can play a role, a key role with us as we revolutionize this massive $7 trillion healthcare industry. So let's get right to it. You're going to hear from key members of our team talking about aspects of this opportunity, and I hope that you'll pay very close attention to what each person says. I want you to also visualize your role in the launch and rollout of this new project. Now, the first presenter on tonight's call is our CEO, Mr. Dan Richards. Dan started this company, Global Rescue, 12 years ago. After retiring from Wall Street in private equity at the age of 30, his character, his values are in alignment with the values of our entire team, which is to do good while doing well. Now, the original mission of this company was simple. We save lives. He's been a competitive athlete and played collegiate football, is a husband and father to 2 young children, and he's leading our charge with Global Rescue Direct. It's a great pleasure to introduce to you tonight Dan Richards. Dan, the time is yours.
Thanks, Ryan. I couldn't be more excited to be on this call with all of you today and to talk about what I think is a tremendous opportunity to disrupt one of the largest and most dysfunctional industries in the world, the $7 trillion healthcare industry. But before I go into talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, I think it makes sense for you to know a little bit about both me and Global Rescue and what we've been able to accomplish over the last 12 years. So my personal background is I began my career a decade ago. I spent my first decade on Wall Street in the investment banking and private equity industries. And through financing and making investments in over 30 companies worth more than $3.5 billion, I learned what separated good companies from great companies and good management teams from great management teams. But what I didn't get was the sense of fulfillment and sense of purpose that Global Rescue has provided. You know, I'm the son of an entrepreneur, and I knew I always wanted to do something on my own to get my hands dirty and do something that made a difference and was more aligned with my values. And of course, I wanted to do well financially, and I thought that if I could combine doing good in the world with doing well financially, that would be the holy grail in terms of business models, or at least it was for me. And so I set out to find that business model. And fortunately, in 2004, I did. I had observed that there was a need for critical travel risk, travel assistance, and crisis management services in the post-9/11 world that weren't being delivered. And so I went out and formed an exclusive relationship with Johns Hopkins Medicine, which today has been ranked #1 in the U.S. 23 out of the last 25 years. I hired a bunch of nurses, paramedics, doctors, and special operations veterans and set about fulfilling the need in the gap that I perceived to be in the marketplace. And what we've accomplished over the last 12 years in this industry has been nothing short of revolutionary. Today we have 7 offices in 5 countries, and I'm blessed to have nearly 250 of some of the most skilled, dedicated, and wonderful teammates in the world. We've performed over 10,000 operations in some of the most difficult locations on Earth, and there hasn't been a significant global event of the last 12 years, whether it be a terrorist attack, a natural disaster, or other major event that we haven't been successfully involved in. We've also been fortunate enough to have been covered by many of the major media outlets in this country, including CNN, PBS, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, New York Times, and many others. But honestly, what's most important to me is that by perfecting the delivery of these medical and other critical services, that we've been able to help literally tens of thousands of our members and make a positive impact in their lives, and in some cases, even save their lives. But as much as we've accomplished, there's one piece of feedback that we've gotten from our members that's always bothered me through the years. And it comes in the form of a question. And that question has always been, can't I call you from home? And the answer has always been no. And that's troubled me. And it's troubled me for two reasons. Number one, because of the fact that someone would feel like they needed to call us from home. It meant that the healthcare system in this country was so broken that they didn't have a relationship with a healthcare provider that could give them what it was that they needed. And number two, that because we were being forced to say no, not because we couldn't deliver the service, we certainly could and did, but because of the Byzantine regulatory environment in the U.S. that prevented us from actually delivering that service to people in their homes when they needed it. Well, several years ago, we started trying to figure out how to say yes, and I'm proud to be able to tell you that we are just a few short days away from not just saying yes, but shouting yes, and not just to our members, but in the marketplace as a whole. And what we believe, have grown to believe as we've studied this industry and gotten to this yes moment, is that this could be incredibly disruptive in healthcare as a whole. And I firmly believe that just in the way that Uber has disrupted how we hail a cab and how cell phones have disrupted how we make telephone calls, that what we're about to do will be transformative and disruptive with respect to the way that people access healthcare. So you're probably asking yourself, what exactly are they going to do? Well, let me tell you. We are going to provide immediate on-demand access 24/7, 365 to urgently needed medical advisory and consultative services that include video consultations with our paramedics, our nurses, and our physicians. We're going to provide subspecialty consult and other kinds of services for people who need to get a second opinion in 18 subspecialties backed by some of the best doctors and medical professionals in the world. And just as we are today for travelers, the resource of choice when they experience an emergency, we intend to become the company that our members turn to when they have a medical or other type of family crisis. To do this, we've recruited a world-class team led by Doug Robinson, Dave Phelps, and Ryan Thompson, who you heard from at the beginning of the call. These guys have a long track record of creating incredibly successful and valuable network marketing companies. And what we've realized is that in order for us to be successful in transforming healthcare and capitalizing on this opportunity, we're going to need a whole army of revolutionary-minded entrepreneurs to make this happen for us. Over the last 12 years, we've developed the critical resources at Global Rescue that we think we're going to need to be successful. And we've honed and perfected the application of those resources since our founding. So let me challenge you to be among the first to join us in this new enterprise. Go to our website, check it out, enter your information, share it with the people you know, that you care about, that you want to have as teammates, and that you want to have in there with you disrupting what will ultimately be one of the largest and greatest opportunities that certainly I've been involved in and that you can be a part of as well. So join me in helping us reclaim the ability to take control of our healthcare. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on this call and for joining us. Ryan, back to you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Dan. And I hope that everybody was able to really feel the vision that he has and the passion for this project. This is truly revolutionary. Now, the next presenter is a man that I've known and worked with for the past 6 years and is really uniquely qualified to be the president of Global Rescue Direct. Having spent 6 years in the network marketing industry, both as a CEO and also serving as a board member on the Direct Selling Association's board. He's also uniquely qualified because he has spent 25 years as an insider to this $7 trillion healthcare industry and understands exactly where it's broken, why others have failed to fix this, and exactly what needs to happen in order to transform and revolutionize this industry. He's really a man who always stands by his word. He does what he says he'll do, and it's an honor to introduce him tonight on this call, the one and only Mr. Doug Robinson. Go ahead, Doug.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks, Dan. This is truly an exciting night. It's an honor for me and a very proud moment to be introducing Global Rescue Direct to you. The macroeconomic realities of the healthcare delivery system in the U.S., coupled with our Global Rescue Direct value proposition and launch opportunity, are colliding in an amazing way, literally as we speak. As Ryan just mentioned, I spent the first 25 years of my professional career embedded in the healthcare field, namely as a strategic consultant to some of America's largest corporations as they struggled year in and year out with really the design and affordability of their healthcare offerings. I also had the privilege of running one of the largest managed care companies in the healthcare industry. I understand as well as anyone, having been a healthcare insider, that the U.S. healthcare system is broken. And for that matter, as broken as our system is here in the U.S., the healthcare systems throughout the world are even more broken than ours. Over the last several years, I've also had the privilege of running a publicly traded network marketing company as its president and CEO. I was also honored to sit on the board of directors for the Direct Selling Association here in the U.S., and I have the utmost respect for network marketing professionals and their ability to bring new ideas to market and be change agents in disrupting industries that are old, outdated, and ripe for revolutionary change. Dan talked about how government and large health insurance companies have had their chances to successfully reform our healthcare system, but they've failed. As an ex-industry insider, let me take a minute to expound on that as well as describe the solutions that we have in place.